Hey there guys, and welcome back to the Travis and Damian Podcast, episode 16. Today we are mainly going to be talking about Phase 4 for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but we're also going to dive into two quick pieces of news that was brought up to our attention. We are available on anchor.fm/Travis Damian Podcast, along with iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and many more. So first up, the Walking Dead Rick movies are actually going to get a theatrical release, which is very interesting. So originally these were just going to be, on AMC, that channel or whatever, and then they were just going to premiere on there and sort of like tie in as to what Rick Grimes is doing after he left the show. So the fact that these are going into theaters is going to be very eye-opening to the studio as to how interested people are in The Walking Dead still.
Yeah, I think it's very risky for them to do this because I don't think The Walking Dead. Again, I don't really know how well the show's doing, but for me personally, I've fallen out of the show, and I know you have as well.
Yep. And
a lot of people I know, like, they're just like they don't care anymore. So it's kind of like a weird move for them to make this on like a theatrical film instead of just like on their channel, because again, it seems like the hype for this show really isn't there anymore. So I guess they're using this to really gauge how much people care. Because if it does end up doing really well, that's just a lot of money for them. And if it bombs, then they know, I guess, not to do it again. But
yeah,
I don't really know what they're trying to do here, to be honest.
Yeah, it just seems like a very weird and odd move, honestly. Just because, like this is part of the TV series sort of thing, and it's tying into that. And they're doing this. Why exactly? I'm not sure. I guess I would imagine either it's going to do okay or it's going to bomb really hard in the box office, because the way people view The Walking Dead now is like, oh, that was like the cool thing from like early 2010s or whatever now, because nowadays, like, not many people are following The Walking Dead, honestly, because the show went in such a different direction and they took so many risks and took so many like changes from the comics. Like, that's not exactly why people, I think that's why some people left, but for me personally, I left because it just got really stale and really boring and it just wasn't interesting anymore.
Yeah, I feel the same way, and I feel like this movie is mostly meant for people who like caught up already, since the way I think Rick kind of just left the show or something, like his character, and then it's just like in these movies I find out what happens to him, but if you're not already invested, then like who cares, So it's really weird.
Yeah, because like at this point, Rick hasn't been in the show since the beginning of the last season, and now it's like, oh, he's gonna have these movies. Like, I'm not interested in Rick Grimes anymore, Like, I left the show. I'm not interested in watching it anymore because it's just really bad, honestly. Like, it's just not interesting anymore for me anyways.
No, I agree with that. And just them, and they want to do 3 like movies. It's just like I don't know what they're thinking. Like, I don't think this was thought out too much, because I feel like it's gonna bomb super hard. But I guess we'll see. We'll see really how much people really care about The Walking Dead after this movie comes out. That's about all we could say right now.
Because I didn't look up as to like what the numbers/ratings are for the show anymore. I would imagine they are not where they were in like season 4 or even season 5.
I see people barely talk about it. Like, I never see it on Reddit when it's the top news, or like on YouTube. Like, I don't see people like doing predictions or whatever. It's just kind of there. So I don't think it's very, like, people really aren't looking at that show anymore. So
indeed.
All right, so this is a follow-up to the last thing we talked about in the last podcast. Nintendo is going to be fixing Joy-Cons for free. They're going to be offering refunds and stuff. So last podcast we talked about how there was a class action lawsuit against them due to the Joy-Con drifting. Well, it looks like Nintendo responded with these, free repairs and refunds and stuff. So that's really cool. I think that's the right thing to do. Do I think Nintendo would have done this if it wasn't for the lawsuit? No. I think like all the lawsuits and stuff really pushed them towards this, free repair stuff, because it was probably going to get out of hand if they didn't. So I'm glad that Nintendo finally was like, okay, we'll do the free repairs. I personally probably won't, like, since I usually use the Pro Controller anyway, so it's not like that big of a deal for me. But I know a lot of people that play portably are probably very thankful for this free offer here.
Yeah, definitely. So it just seemed really weird that Nintendo was charging for repairs at first for the Joy-Cons, especially since they rarely worked when you first opened them out of the box or even came with your console.
Yeah.
So they are offering refunds to those that have, the repair invoice and all of that stuff, and then they will refund you for whatever you paid for. But if you want to go and get your Joy-Cons fixed, you don't need a proof of purchase or anything like that. You could just send them in through support representatives or whatever. I'm pretty sure if you could Google it or look it up, you'll probably find a way to do it. But yeah, me personally, I'm not that all up in arms about it. I'm sort of just like watching from the sidelines. But, to those that actually play their Switch a lot and really care about their Joy-Cons and hate the Joy-Con drifting, you can send it in to Nintendo and have it repaired. The last thing I got repaired from Nintendo was my Wii U. I bought it at launch and then it just didn't work.
Yeah, I remember that.
The goddamn HDMI port just didn't work for whatever reason, so... But yeah, hopefully to those that send them in, they get it back ASAP. So yeah, it just seems weird that they finally decided to do something once someone else, was like, we're gonna sue you, and then they're like, oh shit, yeah,
something. That's just how you get things done, Like this has been a problem for so long, and just now they're really offering a solution. I don't know how. I think this is not a permanent thing. I think they're only doing this for a little bit, I guess. Because I don't see them like doing these free Joy-Con things forever. So if you have that drift, you should do it like now. So
yeah, if you want.
Yeah, if you want to. If it bothers you a lot, then yeah, you should probably do it now.
So hopefully they'll find a solution for when they later, come out with new Joy-Con colors and stuff like that. That this doesn't happen.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, so those were the lighter pieces of news. Now we're going to talk about everything for Phase 4. That was announced at San Diego Comic-Con this past weekend. So yeah, we're just gonna go in order in terms of everything they revealed from the one that's closest to coming out, which is Black Widow, all the way up until Thor/Blade, which Thor comes out in November 2021, and then Blade comes out whenever they want it to come out.
Yeah, that's not released date yet.
So first movie, like I said, was Black Widow. It's going to come out May 1st, 2020. David Harbour joins the cast. If you don't know who that is, he is in Stranger Things. He is Hopper. And then the villain for the movie is Taskmaster. So the fact that David Harbour has joined the cast makes me very interested. But also this is a prequel movie, so it's not really tied into Phase 4, I don't think, unless they're going to make Taskmaster like a big villain that they're setting up or something like that. But yeah, I'm just very interested to go and see the trailer that they showed off during San Diego Comic-Con. They haven't made that public, but they did show off like footage and whatever. So Taskmaster as the villain, I'm all on board for that. And, David Harbour joining the cast, I don't see anything wrong with that either.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Even before I think we knew that Black Widow movie was coming out. We didn't know, she was going to die. But, I kind of figured, it was going to be like sort of a prequel anyway. So that doesn't really surprise me that it is. And, I'm happy Hopper's here. He's a great actor. Love him in Stranger Things. It's cool to see him in, new stuff. And Taskmaster is also, like, a cool villain. You don't really see him too much. He usually appears in, like, like more, when they run out of villains to use. So it's kind of cool to see Taskmaster just here. And again, it's going to be cool to see her backstory and stuff. Because I actually don't really know too much about, like, Black Widow's actual character. So it's going to be cool to see a movie based on her backstory, even though she's kind of dead. So that's kind of weird. But
I think people are just interested to see exactly, because like they started building up her backstory in like Age of Ultron, but like not many people really remember that or give that movie enough credit, I feel. But
yeah, I watch it once.
Hopefully, they actually dive into her character more and give her the justice that she deserves, sort of thing.
Yeah, I hope so. I feel like she kind of got shafted in Endgame, literally. It's just like, I felt like they could have done a little more with her. So I'm glad that she's going to get like one movie just based on her. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
All right. So next we got some Disney. This is going to be a theme now. They're going to be using Disney Plus a lot, like, like we figured. This one is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's going to be coming out fall 2020. And the dude from Civil War, remember that guy is Zumo, the villain from Civil War? I totally remember him. Yeah, he's going to be coming back for this movie. I'm sorry, series. So with the whole Disney Plus thing, I feel like, with them, like, I know they want to use these, like, shows to really incorporate them into the, like, they're not, like, skippable, I don't think. Like, especially with another one later. Like, you kind of have to watch them if you want to like keep up with all the stuff. And I feel like that's gonna be a harder like thing for people to do because watching one movie is like one thing, but now you gotta keep up. You gotta subscribe to a service. You gotta watch these shows. Like, I'm probably gonna do it, but like, it's gonna be a lot harder to keep up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
So like, my thing with their idea of implementing the Disney Plus series into Phase 4. Personally, I'm fine with it because, I think people are used to like the Netflix sort of model, but like in this like cinematic universe sort of thing, I know what you're saying. Like, it's going to be hard for like the casuals to like really get into it and like follow. But, as like hardcore nerds and like superhero fans, I think that me and you are both going to watch this series and enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
And it is definitely more time consuming because it is a television series instead of just one movie where you just sit down and watch it. Now it's like a long, like 8-hour movie sort of thing,
Yeah.
So, but the actual series itself, I love the duo Falcon and Winter Soldier. They are hilarious. So I wonder if they're going to play off that or if they're going to take a much more serious approach. I'm pretty sure they're just going to do the, Marvel sort of like inserting comedy here, inserting comedy there. But Zumo returning as the villain is definitely very interesting. I wonder how they're going to implement him into the series itself. But yeah, I'm definitely very interested in this one in particular just because, Endgame spoiler, the Falcon becomes Captain America, which is shown within the logo itself. So I wonder how that's going to conflict with maybe even Bucky and Falcon. Maybe there's, butting heads there or whatever, but we'll just have to go and wait and see exactly what's in that series.
Yep.
Okay, so now we got the Eternals. That will come out November 6, 2020, so that's around the fall, but it actually has a date. And the actors/actresses in this movie, Angelina Jolie, Kumali Nanjiani, I hope I pronounced that right, and Don Lee are the only actresses that I know personally. Angelina Jolie, like, she's just a well-known actress. Yeah. Kumail Nanjiani, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He was in The Big Sick, which is a Amazon movie, which is really good, and he's also a pretty funny guy, and he's very active on Twitter, especially politically. And then Don Lee, I actually saw him recently in Train to Busan. It's a movie on Netflix. I actually watched it over your house, Damian.
Oh, it was that one? Oh, yeah. Okay.
He was the older guy, I guess, if I can say that.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
What a coincidence there.
Yeah. So this is definitely going to be a very interesting movie because, Marvel is known for taking unknown characters like the Guardians of the Galaxy and turning it into a pretty fun and great movie. So I wonder exactly how that's going to play into this. I think some people are saying that this is going to be like a prequel movie, like sort of like what Captain Marvel was, where it's like this takes place before like almost everything or something like that.
Yeah, because I think they're like a little synopsis thing where it's like Immortals or whatever or something like that. So I guess, I think it's going to be before everything we know, and then they're going to jump to like present day or something like that. I don't know. I just like these superhero groups. I think they're pretty fun, and I think they could do something like Guardians of the Galaxy where all the personalities play off each other and stuff like that. So I'm always down with that type of stuff, and it's always good to see new, but not new heroes, but heroes that aren't really well known. I think that's what the MCU is really good at, and making people actually care about these people. So I am pretty excited for this movie, as I have no idea who the Eternals are. So it's gonna be cool to see how they bring them to life here. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Definitely.
All right, so now we got Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Is coming out February 12th, 2021. Again, I have no idea what this is about.
Okay, so the only actress I know is Awkwafina. She's a actress/rapper. And yeah, her name is legit Awkwafina. That's like her sort of like stage name. It's sort of like Zendaya,
Yeah.
So, but the guy who's gonna be playing Shang-Chi is very excited about the role. He even like made like a joke tweet like, "Hey Marvel, why don't we talk about me being Shang-Chi?" And then when he actually got the part, he was like, "Thanks for getting back to me," sort of thing. Like years later.
Right.
So, yeah. Obviously, I know nothing about this movie, but Once again, I think we all have. It's sort of like with the whole like if it's like a Disney movie, it's probably gonna be good. If it's like a Nintendo game, it's probably gonna be good. At this point, Marvel movies are sort of like that thing. If you know what I'm saying.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So yeah, like Marvel movies are known to just be good in general. So I hope that they do Shang-Chi justice, because I know that some origin movies are not exactly all that great. But I hope that they do this one well, and the cast that they have set up for it is not that bad.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. Again, like I said, I like it when they introduce newer heroes that not a lot of people know about, and then bring them into like the spotlight. I think it's a really cool thing because again, I never heard of Shang-Chi, never heard of Eternals, but I'm excited to see what they do with them. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Okay, so next one we got is a Disney Plus series, WandaVision, spring 2021. That's all we know so far. I mean, it's literally just going to be a series about Wanda and Vision, but I wonder how this is going to play into the next one we're going to talk about, which is the Doctor Strange sequel, because Wanda's going to be in that movie.
Yes, and so, they said this Disney Plus series is going to be important to the events of the Doctor Strange movie. So again, if you want to watch the Doctor Strange movie and fully get everything, you have to watch the WandaVision series that's going to come out. So
that's definitely going to mess some people up that don't watch these series at all, but. Yeah, I mean, Wanda and Vision, obviously they are in a relationship, so I wonder on how that's going to play out, because I don't know if they brought Vision back after Infinity War.
Yeah, he kind of got his like forehead destroyed because the stone was in there. So
yeah,
the Doctor Strange movie also says it's gonna be like a horror movie or something. Like they said they want to make it like more of a horror thing. So I'm like, that sounds pretty cool. I love the name Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. It sounds really cool, and it's gonna be cool. I love Doctor Strange's character in the MCU. I think he's really knows all like sarcastic and stuff, and it's great. And it's gonna be cool to see more Scarlet Witch because we don't really see her in too many things either. So it's gonna be good to get more character from her instead of just being like Vision's love interest and like she's super strong. Like, it's gonna be cool to see her actually do more things. So
develop her character a little bit more.
Yeah,
but yeah, like. At first, I was like, oh, it's going to be a Doctor Strange sequel, sort of thing. Because, like, the standalone Doctor Strange movie, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I know that some people really did like it. Personally, it just didn't do much for me. Yeah. But seeing him in the other movies, I really did like him in, Thor Ragnarok and, of course, the Avengers movies, Infinity War and Endgame. But for the sequel, the fact that Wanda's in it now and they're taking a much more, I guess, horror theme approach is going to be very interesting as well. So... they didn't have to tell me that it was going to be, much more on the horror elements, but the fact that Wanda's going to be in it just has me very interested, and it's supposed to come out May 7th, 2021. So, very intrigued.
Yeah. So, again, we got another Disney Plus show, Loki, spring 2021. This is supposed to take place from the Loki from that alternate timeline that, like, teleported with the Tesseract, during that one bit in Endgame. So, obviously the Loki we know is dead. He died from Thanos. So this is that 2012 Loki. So it's going to be interesting to see what, shenanigans he does, I guess. Because, it's not the Loki that had all that character development from our timeline. It's the one from the Avengers 1. So he's still, like, evil. So it's going to be cool to see what he does there. But that's about all we really know. So.
Like, I'm not a huge Loki fan. I know that some people are, like, Loki stans, like, dedicated to this character, like they love him. But personally, like I don't know exactly how this Disney Plus series is going to fit into Phase 4, so maybe they'll reintroduce Loki into the movies or something like that. I'm not sure. Like everything is up in the air for this series just because it does take place in an alternate timeline where in Endgame he just takes the Tesseract and dips. So I'm just interested to go and see on how this series plays out, and also the logo for it really is terrible. Like it just doesn't look good. Like just look up Loki.
It doesn't look
logo.
very good.
Like holy moly. My brother was like ranting about this. He's like, who did this? Like, oh my God, this looks so bad. But hopefully the series isn't bad, despite it not. I mean, like, at first, like, from, like, a outside view and not knowing much, it looks like it's not going to be that important for Phase 4, but maybe it will. We'll just have to wait and see because, it is a TV show series that we're talking about here now within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is also a Disney Plus series, but I'm pretty sure that this one is going to be all for fun. It's going to be a What If series. This is the one that they talked about earlier. It's actually going to be an animated series, and it's supposed to come out during the summer of 2021. And the MCU actors will come back and reprise their roles as voice talent. So this is going to be very interesting just because it's animated and they're actually going to bring back the actors to do the voice talent for each character, and exactly what situations they want to come up with is pretty much anywhere. I know one of them was what if Peggy Carter became Captain America. I'm pretty sure that they're going to do that one, but whatever else they do is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, this one's actually like I'm pretty hyped for this one because it's not connected to anything. They can do whatever they want. It's animated. They're gonna have like the voice actors from the MCU like doing their characters. I think it's gonna be a very interesting series, and they could keep it going for a while as long as they have ideas, I guess. Like it's not really attached to any phase or anything, so I guess they could just keep it going if they have ideas. And it's pretty cool. It's a cool idea for like a show, and the fact that it's animated is also pretty cool. So yeah, I'm pretty hyped for this one.
Yeah, because I would imagine if they actually like brought back the actors and like did all of this stuff just for fun would have been like kind of bad, but now they're doing like voice talent and actual animation, so I think it's probably still gonna take a while to like make a animated show, but like doing actual like acting and trying to bring these guys in instead of just like, all right, just come in and talk for a bit or voice act sort of thing. So that's definitely gonna be very interesting. You want to do the next one?
Yeah, so next, another Disney Plus show. A lot of Disney Plus shows. We got Hawkeye. So obviously this is, it's going to be about, what's his face? Clint? That's his real name?
Yes.
Yeah. It's going to be about him. He's like, they're introducing Kate Bishop. So I don't really, I don't know if this is like, he's like training, like, it's a new character. I don't really know what it's about. Yeah. I know he's training like a protege. I don't know if it's his daughter, if it's a new character. I'm not too sure. But yes, it's gonna be about him training basically like another like Hawkeye basically, and I think that could be pretty cool. I think a lot of people really like Hawkeye's character. I've been okay with him. I'm not a massive fan of Hawkeye, but I think if the show could make him have more chemistry with someone else, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Like, this show is definitely going to be very interesting. Also because they're going to explore Barton's time as Ronin. So I wonder how much of that is going to take up the show's runtime. Probably in, like, flashback sequences where, like, he feels bad and, like, he has, like, PTSD from, like, all of the bad stuff he did during that time as Ronin.
Yeah.
But the introduction of Kate Bishop, I only know her from the West Coast Avengers, which is, like, it's a newer comic that's sort of like played for laughs. I kind of stopped reading it after the first 6 issues, but I mean, outside of that, yeah, she is like the next Hawkeye, and that is going to be very interesting to see exactly on how that plays out, because we still don't know if that is his daughter that they want to do with, or if it's going to be a completely new character. I would imagine a new character would probably fit that, so Clint could just do his own thing, be a family man like he was before the whole Endgame thing happened. So yeah, definitely going to be very cool to go and see a new Hawkeye come into the MCU.
Yeah.
Okay, so the big movie, I think that was really cool that they announced, was the official name for Thor 4, Thor Love and Thunder. Of course, Chris Hemsworth is going to come back as Thor, and then Taika Waititi is going to come back as the director. But the big one was Natalie Portman returning as Jane Foster, and she is going to be becoming the female Thor. So to those that don't know, that run of the female Thor comic didn't last that long, from what I understand. So I wonder exactly on how this is going to affect the MCU, because I would imagine that Chris Hemsworth, he said that he would do this character for as long as possible, but I think after this movie it might just be Jane Foster as the new Thor, I think.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. I don't think they're gonna kill him off, but I think he's just gonna be like, I'm kind of done. I don't know, maybe just make him like be the king of like New Asgard or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, it's cool that she's back. I know she didn't really want to do anything with Thor after Thor Dark World, which I can't really blame her, because that movie wasn't good. But it's good to see her back. She's a character that I'm pretty sure some people just totally forgot about, because she hasn't been really relevant for so long. Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be cool to see her be female Thor and use like the Mjolnir and stuff like that. So And again, it's cool that the director is back from Thor Ragnarok, because again, that's like the best Thor movie, and it could have that like same like sort of comedy and stuff. I'll be all in, because that again, I never thought I would enjoy a Thor movie that much. So I'm glad he's back to do this movie as well. So yeah, I have high hopes for this one. It's probably the most excited I am for, you know, any of these Phase 4 stuff, because, you know, we like, it seems like a pretty safe bet that's going to be great. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah, definitely going to be very interesting to see exactly how well Natalie Portman does within this role, because obviously she is a pretty good actor, or actress, I should say. So yeah, November 5th, 2021 is going to be the release date for Thor: Love and Thunder. Yeah.
And next we got a surprise one. We got Blade. So Blade's going to be in the MCU. It's going to be by
Okay. I have a hard time pronouncing his name as well, but he's a pretty well-known actor. God damn it. Mr. Ali, all right?
There you go.
That's pretty much what we're going to be calling him. But he's been in multiple Marvel things at this point already. He's actually was Uncle Aaron in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. He was in the Luke Cage TV show on Netflix, and I think that's about it. He might have been in one more thing that I'm not remembering on the top of my head, but he was in other movies like Green Book, that was released last year, and then in 2016 he was in Moonlight, which he was great in, and also Alita Battle Angel, which was released this year. He was great in that. So he's a pretty well-known actor, and the story as to how the Blade movie came to be was that he called Kevin Feige and was like, I want to do Blade. And when he calls, I guess Kevin Feige was just like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah. So, I love how they just get these heroes.
Yeah, I mean, like, when a very well-known actor who has won multiple Academy Awards and stuff like that, you know, like, he wants to do a movie with you, it's like, all right, sure, why not? So, you know, people are very excited for this Blade movie, but it doesn't have a place within Phase 4. It has no release date. My theory is that they're going to do a sort of separate Marvel thing that isn't part of the MCU, but maybe they will be part of the MCU. I'm not sure. But my theory is that they're going to do like a whole like R-rated sort of like movie series thing of the MCU. And Blade's part of it, because I think the original Blade movie was rated R. But
it wouldn't surprise me, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking it up real quick. Shit. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the original Blade movie was rated R. But yeah, there's going to be that movie, and of course, you know, Deadpool and maybe some other characters that they want to throw in there as well. So it is definitely going to be very interesting, especially since Mr. Ali is a very good actor.
Yeah, I really hope they go to like an R-rated like sort of like universe there, because, you know, I think a lot of heroes can only work in like an R-rated environment. But again, it's Disney still. So I don't know if they really want to associate their name with that. Mostly like, you know, yeah, when they're Disney, and too, like superheroes and stuff, and kids love superheroes, so they don't want them to like see this R-rated stuff. But I guess we don't really know until it comes out. I don't know if they will go down that route, unfortunately. I think it's going to be like the highest they go is PG-13. You know, even with Endgame, I think it kind of like decapitating Thanos is a little much for them probably. There's just like, you could do it, but, you know, don't make a habit of it. So I don't know. I guess we just got to wait and see. Again, we don't really know much besides the actor and, like, you know, it's Blade. So, yeah, there's not much else to say. It was just kind of like a surprise announcement there.
Yeah, that was just one bombshell that they showed off at the end, because why not? But
yeah,
at the end, Kevin Feige was like, yeah, we have other movies in the works like Guardians 3, Black Panther 2, Captain Marvel 2. He did mention the Fantastic Four, and then he said the word mutants, which was a word that they couldn't say for a very long time, but I'm pretty sure that is alluding to the X-Men. So all that stuff is not going to be part of Phase 4. Everything we talked about from Black Widow all the way up until Thor: Love and Thunder, that is the entirety of Phase 4. So overall, I think that after Endgame, they have to build stuff back up again. So that's exactly what they're doing by introducing Jane Foster as the new Thor, Kate Bishop as the next Hawkeye, and developing our characters that we already know, like Doctor Strange, WandaVision, and also introducing new ones like Shang-Chi and the Eternals. So overall, I think Phase 4 is going to be like a buffer phase, because there is no Avengers movie at the end. There's a Thor movie at the end. So I think Phase 5 is where things are going to get really interesting, especially for the much more, I guess, general audience, if I could put air quotes around that.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same way. Like this, it doesn't feel like filler, but I guess you could say that. But again, it's more setup. They got like rebuild things. They got bring in new characters. Again, develop the other characters they already have. It's going to be a lot of more setup before like the next like end game sort of happens. Which is the right way to approach it. They didn't achieve the whole end game hype status by just releasing it. They achieved it by 10 years of different movies building up to that. So if they could do the same thing, I don't know if it's going to be like a whole 10 years again, but even if they could even do like half of that, I'm sure they're going to have a good like sort of conclusion to this next like arc of the MCU. But I guess we're going to wait and see. Hopefully the quality doesn't diminish. I don't think it will, but because it looks like it's still got, a lot of people are still really passionate about, this whole universe. So that makes me feel pretty, excited for the future, but we can only wait and see. Because mostly I'm really curious to see the quality of the Disney Plus series. I want to see, obviously they're not going to be like movie tier quality, at least I don't think they will. But I do hope they have like, a good enough quality where I feel confident to watch the rest of them, So.
Yeah. Definitely. I agree with everything you said. Like Phase 4 is definitely going to be a buffer series, and Phase 5 is probably where things are going to get really in motion. So I think they're going to announce that stuff whenever they want. If I had to guess, next San Diego Comic-Con, so next year from now, they would probably either talk about, the films that are still coming through and like the other things, because the next MCU movie / Disney Plus series is May 1st, 2020 with Black Widow. So that's going to be a very long time from now, but I'm honestly really fine with that, just because, Endgame was so good in terms of like the amount of like fanfare and all that stuff. And, for Spider-Man Far From Home is pretty good as well. But, I think it's time for a break, and this is a well-needed break for the MCU, I think.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think it's a good thing they have like a pretty big, sort of break here, just to like, get people like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are fatigued of superheroes. I'm pretty okay. I never get tired of this stuff, but I know the general audience would probably need like a pretty big break after Endgame and Far From Home. So I'm kind of glad they have like a big gap here.
Definitely going to be interesting to see what happens next, just because, Phase 4 is sort of like whatever for the most part, I think, when it comes to like general audiences. But, for me and you, we're probably going to be watching almost all of this stuff.
Yeah.
If like something comes out and it's not getting rave reviews, I'm probably still going to go out and see it or watch it on Disney Plus or whatever happens. But yeah, I'm very excited for this phase. Despite my expectations being, very high, I was like, all right, they're definitely going to talk about Fantastic Four or something like that, but it was just like a brief mention. So gotta settle my expectations a little lower next time. But Phase 4, I think, is going to be a solid phase. It's not going to be like anything amazing, but I think it's going to be a good, buffer phase for Phase 5, where all of the other blockbuster movies like Guardians 3, Black Panther 2, etc.,
Yep, I agree with that.
Okay, so yeah, is there anything else you would like to add, good sir?
No, I think that's everything.
Okay, so thank you guys for joining us on this Phase 4 episode. We will see you guys 2 weeks from now with the next episode of the Travis and Damian Podcast.
See ya.